Okay, good morning everyone. It's still on partial fraction, the other episode. So this is a continuation of the previous episode, and we'll be looking deeply into how to simplify our partial fractions examples. So last time I said we were working based on some principles, and those principles were what I explained in the previous episode. For those that are watching this that have not gotten the principle, you can just go back to the previous episode and click on the the video and watch through. Don't forget also, always remember to like this channel, comment, and also subscribe and click on your notification bell in case or for more and more updates as they are coming, more videos. So now, to not waste much of our time, we'll be going on further solutions on partial fractions. Partial fraction. So now today we'll be making use of our calculator, and step by step make use of our calculator. Is going to be step by step. So but first of all, we are going to look at our first example, our question. So and our question now is this, and our answer to this question is this. Objective answers, precisely, because last time I said we'll be making use of objective questions, and objective questions to pick your answers, and you go back and you go straight to your next question. So now to pick your answers now, that's how to simplify the partial fraction using calculator. That's what we want to do now. So the first option, now you are having this. Look vividly at these options now, you get to see that this lower, the denominator, which is this, and this is the numerator, is in a balanced form. Like your degree for your numerator is less than the denominator. So the first thing you need to know is that you are solving this one quadratically. Like there is a quadratic formula to solve this, to be sure of this one. But the fact that you're already given your denominator is already simplified for you, and it happens to be the same thing in all the options, so you don't need to solve quadratically so as to be sure of your option. You don't need to solve quadratically since the values, the 4, 3 in order, so you don't need to solve quadratically. So you just go for your simplifying to confirm your answer. So now to confirm our answers is what we are looking at now. We are going to be looking at now. So we'll be checking this question. We'll be making this question equal to our answer, and that's what I explained in the last class. We're making this our question equal to our answer. Then any one out of these options that you have equal to your answer is what is going to be your correct option. Are you getting now? So it's going to be your correct option. So from your calculator now, I'm going to just write this option down, take note of them, and as we solve, you will also see, because I'll be bringing out the steps of the calculator on one side and I'll be solving on one side. So I'll be writing the steps down here, so I'm rubbing this part off so that you can just jot this option down. Then I hope you have with your calculator, like I said the other time, your 991 ES plus cashew calculator. So you just on your calculator, but the first thing you're going to do, take note, the first thing you're going to do is to solve partial fractions. The first thing you're going to do to make your work easier, faster. So but let's not forget, there's something you need to know. This method is going to be fast for those that practice it. This is an easy method whereby you solve your questions and get your answer correctly. But if you are not fast, it will be a disadvantage for you. And that's why you need to practice more as we are going on in this other episode. I'll drop more questions whereby you can practice to make yourself fast. So as you practice, you become perfect in it and you become fast. So that the first thing that you're going to do, so back to our calculator, the first thing you're going to do, you on your calculator, which is a normal stuff, and after on your calculator, you clear your calculator. For those that don't know how to clear their calculator, you press the first step. Now the first step, you clear your calculator. And how do you clear your calculator? You press shift, you press your shift button. After pressing your shift button and you press 9, you press shift button and press 9. Then from your shift button and 9, you press memory. Don't press your setup, you press 2. You press 2. So after pressing 2, you follow through the step, then you press your equal to button. Then after pressing your equal to, then it's complete, then you press AC, your AC button. So fine, you are good to go with this first step now. You are good to go with this first step now. You've cleared your calculator. It has to be cleared. Let's just take note of that. You have to clear your calculators to avoid other errors. So that's why I said you have to be fast when solving. Then the next step now is to store your function. Like I told you the other day, we are storing our function as 2. Take note. And I gave you the reasons why we store the function as 2. So for those that we are not able to get this lesson or the reason why we are storing as 2, you check our previous class, then you get to know. Then store your function as 2. Then to store this function as 2, what you need to do is just press 2. You press 2, then you press shift. Then you press shift, your RCL button that has store on STO on top, which is your store button. You press 2, then shift store. So when you press that shift store, you will notice that on your display screen of your calculator, you're having something like STO on top your 2. You're having STO on top, so you're having it to be stored in process now. Then for you to now confirm your storing as 2, you now press your close, this is your brackets, close bracket sign where you have X on top. So it means you're now storing it as X. So you press, then after pressing that, you have something like this on your calculator. Take note, you have something like 2 arrow X, then you have 2 here. So if you are able to get this, then you have already stored your function as 2. So from there, you then press your AC button to bring it back to normal. Then you press your AC button to bring it back to normal. So if you're able to get to this stage, then you are good to go. So I'll be rubbing this place off to show more steppings on how you get your answer. So the next step we'll be looking at is our step for our question. From the principle, you've stored, you've cleared, you've stored, then you want to evaluate your answer. So just take note. Third one, we are evaluating our answer. To evaluate your answer, please take note. We want to evaluate our answers now. We want to evaluate our answers. We want to evaluate our question and our answer. Our question and our answer. That's what we want to do now. So now we'll be typing. I'm very sure you know how to type this. For those that don't know how to type, a fraction equation. For those that don't know how to type a fraction equation, this is how to do that. The first thing you do is press your fraction sign, which is below yourself. You look for this button. So you press this button first. After pressing your button, you find your cursor to be moving around this part. So once your cursor is moving around this part, then you can now press your value for the first question, which is x plus 2. So on top this part, you are pressing alpha, close bracket, your alpha button. This is how your alpha button looks like, so you don't start looking for it. This is your alpha button. It has alpha on top. Your alpha button, then you press your close bracket that has x on it. So these two are together. So you press this. After pressing this, and you press this. Sure you get. So after pressing that, you are going to have. Then after pressing this your x, then you press plus 2. Your plus button. You press your plus button and you press your 2. So once you have done pressing this now, you are going to have something like this. Just take note, you are going to have something like this from your calculator. This for the numerator part. For the numerator now, you are going to have something like this plus 2. So you are going to have something like x plus 2 all over a box will be rolling with. So the cursor will still be on this part. So you use your arrow, your replay button. This is your replay button. This is how it looks like. This is how your replay button looks like on your calculator. So use your replay button to bring your cursor down to this part. So once your cursor now is on this part, which is your denominator, then you now go input your denominator. So the first one was our numerator, then the second one is now our denominator. Now to input your denominator, you also go the same way. You press your alpha and your x button, your close bracket button that has x on top. Then you press this button that has square of x, something like this on your calculator. So when you press it, you've done for the first degree, which is x squared. Then you go to minus 7x. Then you press your minus button. Then after pressing your minus button, then you press 7 and also press your x. I'm very sure you know how to press the x, not times. So take note, is this not times? This is your x button, which is your close bracket, so which is your x. So you're having x squared, minus 7x. Then let me do that here. Then you now press your plus button. Take note, your addition button, and then you press 12, 1 and 2. I'm very sure you know how to do that. You press, let me make it simplified, then press 2. So this is not 1 plus 2, this is 1 and 2. So you press your 1 and 2, which is your 12. So definitely on your answer, on your display button now, you should be having something like this. Once you're having something like this, you are good to go. Before we go to the fourth step, you're having x plus 2 all over x squared minus 7x plus 12. So if you're having this on your cursor, on your display screen, and your cursor on this part, you don't need to worry. So this is what we are actually looking for. your numerator and your denominator for the second part. Then after doing this part, the next thing for you to do is to press, after you've gotten something like this, then you press just your equal to sign, which is at the last part of your calculator, this side. So you just press your equal to sign, then you have your answer. You have your answer to be, do this, and you have your answer to be 2. I've done mine, so my answer is 2. So now, from our previous question now, I said evaluate your answer, your question, to give you 2, and we evaluated this question, give us 2. Then you will not check for any of these options to give you 2. So whichever option given to you after you evaluate gives you 2 is the correct answer. You don't need to waste much time. Just click your answer, just click your option, which is the answer that gave you 2 as your question. So then you are good to go. That's the basics of how to solve partial fraction without wasting much of time, without evaluating, without simplifying, just with your calculator. So now on our further class we'll also be simplifying. So if you can do this, this part, you should be able to do this option. You should be able to solve for your options too. So next class I'll be giving you some basics also on how you need to press your option. Very, very important. So don't forget, click on the notification bell, click on your on our subscribe button, subscribe, so that for the next time we'll be talking about our basics on how to input the option, you won't be left behind. So the way you press your option matters. At times you can press your option in your calculator just this way and you have math error, which most students are conversant with. So just take note, click on the notification bell, follow us, like, share and subscribe, so that for the next episode on how to solve, or the basics of how to input your answers or your options to get your answer, you get to know why you should, or what can cause your math error, and which will not help you waste much time. So next time we'll be talking about that. Thank you. And don't forget, go to the description button, you will see our Telegram page. You get to follow our Telegram page, follow us on WhatsApp also, or Telegram, whichever one. And next week we'll be talking more on partial fraction. Thank you.